Previously on Flowers for Zoe, Stories for Dennis. We're not doing detox. What's next? What next do you have for us? And they had nothing. They had absolutely nothing. You thought you were going to die.
If the withdrawal didn't kill me, the using would have.
And now coming up on the show.
I see the distress on your face when this topic comes up.
I just don't see what reason there would be for her to not give them back.
When you walked out of detox, you disappeared. I was worried sick. Auntie Laura was worried sick. Nana was worried sick. Your whole team was worried sick because you were off on your own doing God knows what.
This week we share Zoe's recovery diary number 2. What starts off as a discussion about procrastination and goal setting leads to getting to the heart of the matter when it comes to facing conflict in relationships. If you feel activated by anything we discuss in today's podcast, reach out and talk to someone.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
This is going to be podcast number 11, and we're doing Zoe's recovery diary number 2, which is a check-in with Zoe. See how she's doing, see what she's up to these days, see how she's coming along with her sobriety.
So how you doing, Zoe?
I'm doing good. I think we spoke about it a little bit last time. I feel like I'm procrastinating a bit on everything. It's a little bit overwhelming starting over. It's been so long since I focused on any of my financial responsibility and just getting shit in order, that now it's all on the same plate and I have to get it all done. I got to get, certain IDs back. So I have to go to Service Ontario. I have to, get some stuff done with the CRA. I have to get some stuff done with legal aid and the kids and just all this paperwork that I need to get in order.
When you became clean, when you stepped out of detox, you had this huge pile of mess to fix. And you've never needed more help than right now, honestly. You have so much on your plate. And I guess that's what happens. Once you stop using, and all of a sudden you're faced with reality and you got to start picking up the pieces of your life, that's hard.
Everything was on hold for so long. I lost all my paperwork and my moves that I did. I lost control of everything. So anything important that you need as an adult in life, I didn't focus on it. I didn't do it. So now it's all piled up.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting. When we talk about procrastination, I think for many of us, we've been taught perhaps to think that procrastination is an organizational problem, right? Like poor time management, or it's like a skill, right? And you're procrastinating because, you don't have this time management skill. But procrastination, when we're postponing something and we're avoiding things, there's often a big emotional component to delaying and putting things off.
I've been procrastinating on a lot of things just because, like I said, when shit gets overwhelming to me, I tend to just shut down and I don't want to do nothing. But on the bright side, I have Uncle Daniel who will be like, okay, Zoe, tomorrow, 10 a.m., we're going to call this place, right? And I'll be like, fuck, okay. And so the following day will come and he'll knock on the door. Are you awake? No. And he'll be like, okay, so how about we make the phone call now to this place? We'll come out and I'll do it. So we did it. We got a few important calls done the other day before the end of the week, before Friday hit. And it felt so good because now I know that the ball is rolling.
Okay, so we're hearing about just the relief that it brings that it's done.
Yeah.
Leading up to doing these phone calls was difficult,
Mhm.
And you may have experienced that feeling of like not wanting to face it, not wanting to look at it, not wanting to do it. So what was it that kind of helped push you through? Like you talk about Uncle Daniel saying, let's make the call.
Yeah.
Um, was that enough to sort of push through?
Well, that's what actually pushed through.
Mhm.
Other than that, like I had a couple of days where I just cried. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't know what else to do with myself. I was just overwhelmed and I just cried.
A lot of the advice that I got from the NA family group, and the one thing that I hear all the time from them is they're telling their kids, don't worry about it. Just take it easy, take it slow, focus on yourself. And so me and Zoe had a conversation like that too. And I said, look, it's summertime. Just take it easy. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Did that help at all?
Honestly, it did in a sense because it kind of took a little bit of that, oh my fucking God, like I'm not doing anything. I feel like the procrastination has like become unbearable now to the point where like I'm really not doing anything. Like every day I wake up and like I said, I'll choose to sit there and do the dishes or clean the cat litter or scream at my kids to clean up just to avoid what I know that I really need to do. Right. So it took a lot of the pressure off. Like, you are right. It is summertime. The kids aren't back in school. Once they are back in school and I'm not choosing to just be a mom all day, I'll have those moments where I can just focus on what needs to be done. I have another 2 weeks to just work at a slow pace and then it's kind of crunch time. So now I'm taking it a little bit more easy on myself in a sense.
Having this bit of insight might be half the battle. And that's a nice description because I think about how many people can relate to that.
Yeah.
Right? When we decide to clean out the junk drawer and we're so motivated to clean out the junk drawer, it's like, okay, well, what else are we avoiding right now? Right? Like, is
Yeah.
there sometimes that's when other jobs or busying ourselves with other things, just feel so much easier than taking on
I'm literally
something.
queen of doing that. I find other things to do than what I know I should be focused on every time.
As soon as we start, creating a narrative where I should be doing, it kind of indicates that we're placing some expectations on ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And it's not to say that that's not a good list of things to do, but if there's an emotional component that feels really hard, it might be to kind of ask ourselves, okay, what is making this really hard right now? What is it about this situation that feels so overwhelming? I think that's probably a big part of the battle with procrastination is
Definitely.
figuring out, yeah, what is it about that, right? And then maybe we can work with it and change it in some way or break it down into smaller bits.
Yeah.
Or offshore it? Like literally get someone else to do some of the things for you too. Sometimes you feel like everything's going to be on your shoulders and you got to be involved with everything. But if you could outsource some of those things to me or Auntie Lara or whoever, the girls, maybe that's an option too.
Yeah, I hear you on that. But I think a lot of like, how would I call it? I guess the stubbornness in that is like these are all the things that adults need to do for themselves. You know what I mean? Like that makes me feel like I'm fully capable to do it and I need to do it. I can't depend on somebody else to tell me, hey, Zoe, you got to make these calls. Or, like, yeah, when it comes to cleaning the house or like, taking turns doing, the cat litter, whatever the case is, that okay. But when it comes to like my taxes and making these important phone calls, like I'm gonna have to do that for the rest of my life. I can't depend on anybody else to do that for me because nobody's gonna give a shit to get my shit done more than me.
You're a realist, as you're describing. Um, you've got this absoluteness around, I have to take responsibility. These are things that I need to be accountable to. And you've got this kind of no nonsense approach to like wanting to, get on top of some of these things. That's wonderful. Should we be talking about how to break some of this down into bite-sized pieces so you don't feel so overwhelmed?
Yeah, I think that would be good to talk about, because there's days, like I said, I'll wrestle through it. And then there's other days where I shut down.
Is it okay to give yourself a bye, to give yourself a skip?
Well, that's what Uncle Daniel told me. He goes, if you're feeling overwhelmed like this, just say, screw it. Don't do nothing today. Tomorrow's a new day. It's a fresh start. Just just forget about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that that's honestly, it's a great way to kind of center yourself again. It's just, you need it sometimes, right? Like everybody needs just that day to be like, I just need to relax my brain so that I can refocus it.
Well, and you bring up a really important skill when you describe that, because sometimes if we set expectations where every single day has to be a check mark off your goals list,
Hmm.
that might be a little too much. And if
Right.
we actually give ourselves permission to have a weekend, or permission to have 2 days a week or 3 days a week where we don't have to attend to the to-do list, sometimes that's enough to help us kind of refresh and rejuvenate and kind of relax. So then we can go back on
Yeah.
and have work days that are a little bit more focused.
And that turn out better than
Hmm.
an overwhelmed, crazy, chaotic day, right?
Let's talk a little bit about how do you set up your week to have enough goals, to have enough things on your to-do list that isn't going to be too overwhelming, but it's going to allow you to check some things off the list so you can feel like you're making progress towards your goals.
Can I be honest with you? Do you want to see my my to-do list? I
Yes,
will
let's see
show
it.
you. Okay, so this is page one. It has 22 things on it. Then it comes to here, which has another, this is 48. Come over here, this is 67 now, as of right now. And I'm still adding because I'm still going through other books that I have jotted notes down in that I've forgotten about.
So to have a list of 67 things means that there are a lot of important things that are on your mind.
Yes.
And so I wonder if maybe we could work with that list, breaking it down into chunks. There's a couple of ways of doing that. One of those ways is to have a look at that list and decide what is important and kind of immediate versus, something that is like a bigger long-term goal. Sometimes I think the stress comes from thinking that if I don't review this great big list every day, I'm going to forget, or I'm going to let something slide. But when we start to organize a big to-do list like that into columns, what that actually allows you to do is take some of it off your plate. And
Right.
it's not going away. You're not going to forget about it. You're just going to take it off your plate and put it over there and give yourself permission to let those things go for a little while so you can focus on the more immediate goals.
Okay. Okay. I could try that. Because I'm such an organization freak, right? So
Oh God, I love your organization. I keep telling you, you got to read that book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, because you would fall in love with that book. That book says Zoe all over it.
How many things would you like to be able to check off your list a week? What do you think is a doable amount? Not too much, but enough.
I should be able to at least make one phone call a day.
Hmm. Okay. So that
Right.
means when you get that one phone call done a day, you're done. You've achieved that goal of one phone call a day.
And then when it comes to like other things that are on my to-do list, like for instance, let's see. Okay. So those are calls like such as like mailing the letter that I need to mail out, or looking at schools for kids in this area, grocery shopping on Thursday, like things like that. I should be able to also get one phone call a day in and check off one of like the quick and easy fixes off my list every day. I should be able to do that.
That sounds great. And it sounds doable. And how many days off a week do you give yourself?
The weekend, so 2.
Okay. So we're talking 5 days. That means 5 phone calls a week, 1 phone call a day.
Yeah,
Sounds pretty doable. And
that
you know what I
sounds so
really,
doable.
yeah. And what I really like about that is it doesn't mean that leading up to the call, you're not going to feel anxious, right? You might have a cry. You might feel anxious. You might notice yourself feeling all kinds of different things leading up to the call. But you know that when that call is done, you've checked it for the day and you're done.
Yes. Oh, that makes me smile just thinking about it. And that's the thing too, is like I know that these goals are doable. They are realistic. It's just my anxiety leading up to doing these things is crippling. It's horrible.
And what problem are you thinking of right now? You just went a little bit negative right now. Like you started to think about how overwhelming everything is. Is there one problem? Is there one action on your list that's giving you the most grief?
Kind of, yeah. I was thinking about the fact that school starts in like less than 2 weeks for the kids. And my mom is dropping all these little hints like, oh, I can't wait for school to start. And that way I can get the girls back on routine, and like insinuating that she wants them back home at her house. And I can't do anything about that because I have to wait for the paperwork, which might not happen for the next 2 months in order to move forward with anything.
Yeah. And you've absolutely loved the last few months. You don't want to lose that, right? You don't want to lose that. And I know that you never will, right? September might look a little bit different, but you're never going to lose that ever again. You just won't. I know that. Do you know that?
Yeah,
It's a horrible feeling to feel like your kids are going to be taken away.
especially when I've done everything to have them back,
Yeah.
and to know that I'm doing everything right and to still not be able to keep them.
And my God, I just want to tell people one more time what an excellent mother you are. You're so good. Zoe is a disciplined mother. She's strict. She doesn't let her girls get away with nothing. And you would think that Zoe would be doing the opposite right now to kind of win their love back, kind of thing. Nope, she doesn't.
You know, watching you on the screen right now, when this topic comes up and you're activated, I see the distress on your face. It's bringing up, it's activating you. It's, and you've said, it worries you. You feel sad. You're putting in all of the right stuff into having the girls back in your life and you being their full-time mom. And so the idea of September not being the way you want is bringing up a lot. And I just want to encourage you to feel that because you're sorting it out. When you allow yourself to feel it and you allow the tears to come and you allow yourself to notice how worried you are about this, it means that you're sorting it out. And that's what you want to do right now.
Yeah.
You want to be able to feel the stuff that feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It means that you're training yourself to regulate your emotions by allowing yourself to see, here's where the concerns are, here's the stuff that's really worrying you in the back of your mind, right? So, when you talk about trying to get things done and calling the schools and setting things up, this is the stuff that's in the back of your mind.
And I've done everything that I need to do, and I still feel stuck.
Well, there's still some things to sort out.
When I think about it, I just don't see what reason there would be for her to not give them back, right? Like, what would be the reason other than, yeah, it's gonna be a change for everybody, not just her. And I get that it's a big change for her, but what other reason do you have to not want to give them back?
Are you able to talk to your mom about this?
No, she never talks. Like, anytime I try to talk to her about it, she doesn't want to talk about it. She just gets upset. And she says it's happening too fast.
Well, I see why you're using the word stuck. You and your mom want different things right now, and it's hard to figure out where the middle ground is going to be, especially if you don't want a middle ground. You want what you want, your mom wants what she wants. And it's also making it difficult to talk about it. And you're also feeling the urgency of wanting this phone call to happen, this discussion to happen, because September's around the corner. So, what to do?
So one thing that we have done is we've booked a session with a counselor / mediator between Zoe and her mom. And that's coming up on Thursday.
How are you feeling about that, Zoe?
A little bit worried.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want it to go bad. I don't want her to get upset. I don't want to make her upset, right?
It might be about deciding ahead of time how you want to use that session. There might be, 10 big things to talk to your mom about in this session, but maybe this is the one you want to focus on.
And I don't know if we do it now. I'm not saying we do it now, but my mind is so black and white sometimes. I always think, okay, you're here, your mom's here. And I'm thinking, okay, why don't you decide beforehand what you're willing to do? Because to be honest with you, when I look at it, it wouldn't be so bad to have daycare for 5 days a week and get your ass in school or work. Your mom has, and she also has her feelings, right? She's going through a difficult time right now because she's about to lose these two girls. You're about to gain them, in a sense. She's about to lose them, in a sense. I can't help but think, what a great opportunity. Your mom needs something. You need something. It could work out so great, Zoe. And maybe I feel this way because I know in my heart, like, I'm not willing to promise things to people. I promise you, you will not lose those girls again. That will never happen to you again.
I know. It just,
They've chosen you so many times. They don't want to lose this either. They love it here. So you're not going to lose them. You did such an amazing job from making that not happen. Oh, I'm like, you did an amazing job. You did what Mama Bear does. You did it. You did it. You made that happen. You didn't have my help in doing that. You didn't have Auntie Lara's help. You didn't have anybody's help. You went and did that on your own. When you walked out of detox, you disappeared. I don't know if you remember this.
yeah.
I was worried sick. Auntie Lara was worried sick. Nana was worried sick. Your whole team was worried sick because you were off on your own doing God knows what. And then it took about a week, and then we realized what you were doing. You were going and getting your kids back, and it took you 7 days. Like, holy shit. Who does that? Mama Bear does that. So maybe I feel a bit more hopeful than you do, because I know that that's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen again.
How do you feel hearing that?
Good. Really good. I know I'm not gonna lose them. I don't want to hurt my mom. I don't want to upset her. I don't want to make her feel not needed. But with me understanding how she's feeling, she needs to understand what the hell I'm feeling. She needs to understand that they are my kids, that I do want to be mom to them. I don't want to give them back. I don't want them to live with her. I want to be their parent. I want to be their full-time parent and have nanny when they want to visit her, or when, I need a break. I don't want it the other way around.
So this
And
is what
it's,
you're working on.
yeah, and it's just feeling, stuck, knowing that I'm doing everything that I should be doing to get my life back and to get the kids back. But still, at the end of the day, even doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, I still can't make the decision to have them here permanently.
Can I suggest one thing? And again, I might be wrong. But I don't think you're ever going to feel that way until you walk through the front doors of a house you own with your kids beside you.
I don't need to own it. I just need it to be ours.
Yeah, fair enough. And the only reason I bring that up is maybe this is one of those times where, you know what, you're not at a 10, you're not in the hurrah, you're at a 7, and that's okay. Is this one of those times? Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's recap today's check-in. Zoe shares more about her worries and concerns, and we learn that getting things done and checking things off a list is complex. To-do lists that feel overwhelming can trigger stress responses that leave us frozen and unable to act. While Zoe is beginning to feel optimistic about setting realistic expectations, she is also having to sort through her feelings and struggles. When setting goals, here are some tips and tricks. Write your goals down. Start with the most important and separate those goals from longer-term goals that can wait. This helps us relax and feel less overwhelmed. Check in with how you were feeling and notice what feels like a barrier or a block. You may need additional support or help. Be specific and be realistic about how much you can do each day. You may need to break big goals into bite-sized pieces so they are more manageable. The key is putting one foot in front of the other each day. Baby steps matter and get us to where we want to go. Till next time.